Hello, welcome to Mitsumaru City. This is Oak Lovelies. It needs to have a basement, so let's go and build it. First I started with the Yuushya Mod to pop out a massive area of land, and now I'm going to go into Oak Lovelies through the community centre and down into the basement, where I'm starting to carve a nice little parking lot for cars, both from the Oak Lovelies apartment block and the 1MTC apartment block. I think that's a good idea. I first need to build this little corridor that connects the Oak Lovelies to this basement area. The MTC apartment block's not going to have a connection like this, so they have to go round. It's a bit of a shame, but that's how it is sometimes. Now I'm going to use this mink concrete to match with the rest of the apartment and build it up along the sides. There's a lot of destruction in this episode because I'm building an underground layer and I need to make things. So yeah, I do need to destroy a lot of things, and that's sad, but from destruction comes creation, does it not? And here I've noticed that the tree is a little bit too far out. So I'm sad to say that the tree is going to have to come down. I can put more trees in later, but for now I've got to get rid of that so I can actually build this place. It's going to have 2 lanes for traffic going in, and I think 1 lane for traffic coming out of the basement. It's a bit funny, but that's how I'm going to work it. This area right now is hugely problematic because there's a lot of water. The water poking through is not what I want to see in my basement. But I do need to expand it a little bit out, so before I do that I've got to pop the lake through, but I can fix it in a minute. Once that's finished, I'm quite happy with it. So what I do now is expand the wall system all the way along and then get to work on the ramp. At first I thought, oh no, there's no space for the ramp. It's going to be difficult to actually get the cars in here. And it is just a little bit. See those bits there? That's like 5 ramps. But it's just not enough space. So I actually had to take out a bit of the street and redo it. I want to have the ramp going all the way down really, but I can't fit it. Don't forget there's also a lake/river system in the way. So what I have to do instead is terminate the road just a little bit, test it so the car can fit, because that's the idea really, isn't it, for cars, and then I can extend it all the way out and have the basement there. It kind of works. I'm happy with that. It's not so much of a disaster. Otherwise I'd have to carve out all of the lake and then it would be a big problem, because I don't want to do that. Now I'm just tidying up the roof to make sure everything looks good, and then I can work on the next bit of the project. It's quite easy to tidy up this roof space. It took me a while to figure it out, but it's easy enough, look. You just put in all these blocks and make sure it's nice and square, decent looking. I've got all those nice glow blocks as well. They do look really good on the Yuushya Mod actually. I should consider using these. If you need help installing the Yuushya Mod, check out my tutorial on how to do it. Once that's finished, I'm going to put in a few of these little vents. I want to make sure that all of the air can circulate in the basement, even though it doesn't really, but the vent looks good, doesn't it? I'm going to have 3 of those in total. Over here, I'm switching to Yuushya Mod, that's why I disappear, and then I can destroy just a little bit more of that wall. Down on the floor, look, I'm going to destroy all of this soil, 1 block below, and then I can fill it with asphalt. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to have another vent space here. So I put the vent in, and that leads to the side there, just on Honduras Street. Underground, again, you can see that this place is starting to become quite the layer. It's like a really decent looking urban basement for cars, and that's the plan. It takes a while putting up those walls, but it makes it look nice and square. And when it's finished, I can move on to the final wall, which is a very easy process. I probably could do this with the Yuushya Mod actually, but I quite like doing it this way. It's a bit traditional and I feel like I'm building something, you know? Once that's done, I fill in all of the rest of it with nice mink worn concrete. It looks really good how it connects as well. And now I change those glowstones out and put in a few proper lights, because I don't want to have glowstone everywhere, it looks a bit silly. And now I could start putting the flooring in, which is basically going to be the asphalt. Asphalt PBR, I think they call it on Yuushya Mod. It's a very simple basement, it's very easy to do with those lights everywhere. Really cool. That little space at the back there I'm going to have for safes and lockers. The residents can have a bit of underground storage, which is available in a lot of apartment blocks around the world. I'm going to have a little path over here and some bikes. I'm also going to add a few bins down here for trash. You know, we've got to keep it nice and clean. There's a column to like change it up a bit so it can bear the weight of the ramp, I feel. Nice looking basement so far. I put in a few cobwebs and things, put a few bins here with fireflies. That looks great. Then I get myself the bike template. That's the noise you can hear. And I stick in 5 bikes. They're the wrong way round. I want to have them that way round. And then I can put in the little bike stop. That's brilliant. I've got 5 bikes for the 5 apartments. There's actually a few more apartments than that. There's 9 in total now. But never mind, that's plenty of space. Yeah, here we go. This little space here is going to be for storage, like an extra storage space combined between the two apartments. There's some boxes on the outside that probably nobody's going to steal. I'm hoping, and don't want any crime in my city, you know. I want to keep it nice and crime-free. Going to change the line work a little bit around the edge. That way you know how to get the cars down here, don't you? Looks good with a little warning sign. Back down here, I'm going to put some mopeds and a blue car. I'm also going to put a nice white one and probably a black one here. I kind of like having two white ones. Let's have a black one. Let's change it up a bit. Nice. A little red one over there. Plenty of space for cars, really. But not enough. I think that maybe 9 cars. But no. All the people that live here want to use public transport because I don't want to have too many cars in the city. Otherwise, what? It's a motorway city. It's not Milton Keynes. That's like a horrible city in the UK, if you didn't know. So over here, there's a few more boxes. Carpet, cobweb. I might add some posters and a little note board as well. I like the idea of having note boards, you know, just like in the community centre. These are little adverts if you want to buy something or, you know, get a cat or something. There you go. Excellent. Back on the outside, I decorated with a few cargo boxes. I changed the wall there to be a hazard wall. And then I've started putting some pipe work in. I think it's important to put lots of pipe work in here. It's got to be clean, hasn't it? The pipe work is basically a mess of pipes, soot pipes they call them on the Yuushya Mod, wires, cabling, cobwebs here and there. I want to make it look like one of those air conditioning things that go along the ceiling of basements for no reason. I don't know why those pipes are there, but they're there, aren't they? That's how a basement looks. It has pipes with weird things on the ceiling, and it's exposed. I like the idea of exposed things on ceilings. You know, like in coffee shops, that's kind of like the same design as this, isn't it, really? It's industrial. It's industrial minimalist or whatever. That looks really good. Nice little tube system everywhere. I used some poles, and I'm going to put up some posters as well on the wall. Once that's finished, my basement is almost done, I'll tell you what. On the outside, it needs some kind of shell to protect it. Actually, I don't really know why they have those. I could have this as an exposed thing, but I've also knocked a door, interestingly, into apartment 3. Because you know what? They can have an extra balcony space on top of this basement thing. Why not? I mean, is that illegal? Not in my city, it's not. No, it looks good. So here I'm just messing around with the staircase network. I want it to look decent. I kind of want it to match. But I also want to have one of those security boxes. So here, look, I'm going to put in some windows. Stick some slabs on top. I chose this wool at first, but it doesn't look right. It's a bit weird, so I changed it to bamboo ones to keep it like a security, safety yellow. I could have a nice little safety box here with, you know, like a laptop inside and a light. I see those everywhere, you know, where you go to an apartment block, they have these little room things where the dude sits there and he gives you the tickets or whatever. That's exactly what I've got now in Mitsumaru City. I put a nice little warning sign on it. I'm just checking the details because some of the things are a little bit funny, and I want to have one of those security barriers as well, just like at the power plant. Nobody can come in here without a permit. If you live in the apartment, then great. You're welcome, absolutely. But if you don't live in the apartment block, what are you doing here? You can't park your cars. Down the ramps, I put in all of the road markings. I want to make sure that all of the road markings go in correctly. And that's pretty much my basement, really. I'm just doing some final touches on the outside. I put a box near Speedy Maru package service, a couple of lights, a few more oak trees. I have to fix the side walls with that oak tree. It made a bit of a mess. But once that's finished, I have a really nice looking basement. I also add a couple of P signs, which are for parking, and then I put in another vent, which leads just onto Sunshine Street. On the ramp, I'm going to add a little blue car going up, which you can actually do. That's really surprising. If you've liked this video, subscribe, send me a comment as well. Let's go on a little tour real quick. So I'm going to go down underground here, look. You can see my beautiful basement, packed with cars, bikes, and all other kinds of things. I'm MrCrayfish, and I'll see you next time.